Keeping all of those extra pesky pounds away can be really difficult, but it doesn't happen on accident. It takes being intentional. And here are 4 tips to help you stay slim and keep those extra pounds off. All of us want to live long and healthy lives, but too many times we go through seasons of extreme dieting or getting burnt out from dieting, and then we lose all of our momentum and then we feel like we have to start again. And I believe one of the keys to living a healthy life is to making it a lifestyle. And what I want to share with you today are a few of my favorite tips that have made a tremendous impact in my own life that I believe will help you take control of your health and take control of the life that you want to live. The first tip is to download the MyFitnessPal app. It's a free app and it helps you set goals for your calories depending on how much weight you want to lose each week. And it also allows you to put in the calories you burn through exercise so that you can add those to your daily limit. Trust me, it's a real lifesaver. But what this app also does is it helps you be intentional with what you're putting into your body, as well as what you're not putting into your body. It also helps empower you with knowledge to know what exactly is in your food. There are so many foods that slip into our diet and they're full of calories that you had no idea. Things like salad dressing, things like coffee creamer. That was a huge thing for me. I was drinking all of my calories in my coffee creamer every morning, and I was adding hundreds of calories to my diet every single day because of it. And so all I did was I cut out the high sugar coffee creamer and I switched to honey and almond milk. And it's delicious. And now my body craves that. And when it's Christmas and they have the peppermint white mocha creamer, I'm able to get a small one and use it as a dessert. Because instead of using it every day, I now know how many calories are in it and I can prepare myself and make a plan for it so you can enjoy the things you love, but you're not consuming them on a daily basis. Tip number 2 is to control your portion sizes. For me, I can do pretty well throughout the day with my portion sizes and with what I eat, but then once dinner rolls around, I get hungry. And sometimes I get hangry and I just fill my plate with more than enough for one person. And then I wonder why I'm not really seeing many results. But when you go get your dinner, just get your portion size like you normally would, just a normal size. And then what my husband and I have been doing is we've been putting the rest of the food away into the fridge as leftovers. And then you're not tempted to just go up into the kitchen and get a second helping because it's not there anymore. You'd have to get it out and reheat it, and it's just too much trouble than it's worth. And then you won't eat so much. Another thing that you can do is if you are needing more food because you are hungry, or maybe you're training, or maybe your husband needs more food than you do, instead of loading up on the heavy things like rice and pasta and bread, get extra helpings of protein or load up on veggies. Those are the things that you can eat a bigger portion size without adding too many calories and while still benefiting your body and working towards your goals. Tip number 3 is to eat slower. Now, this is something that I have kind of always done. I am a classic slow eater to the point where it tends to drive the other people in my life a little crazy. But my husband tends to be a very fast eater. And what he's done is he started setting a timer on his phone, just a stopwatch. He just lets it roll and he tries to eat within 20 minutes or so instead of 5 to 10 minutes. Because it really takes your body at least 20 minutes or so to actually feel full. So if you eat your food too fast, you'll still feel hungry and then you'll want to go get second helpings when really your body hasn't had the time to digest and to actually feel how full you are. So then you get more food and then later you feel completely stuffed and like you gorged yourself. But if you just set a timer for yourself, it works really good, and stretch out your meal to at least 20 minutes, especially for dinner, then you're going to feel fuller, faster, and you won't need as much food to feel satisfied. Another thing that this does for you is it allows you the time to be thankful for your food. Food isn't just for immediate satisfaction. Food is nourishment for our bodies, and it's important for us to remember that and for us to not place a higher value on it than we should. And it's also important to remember that our food is a gift from God. It's amazing that we live in a country where we can go get food and we can cook it and we can have amazing meals and we can eat at home. It is truly an amazing thing. And when you shift your perspective to slow down and be thankful for the food that you have, it's going to change your whole mindset on the food that you're eating, and you will steward it better. And tip number 4 is to establish social foods. Now, this is perhaps one of my favorite tips that has completely changed my life the most. And that is, we have a rule in our home that we have no chips, cookies, or candy except when we have company. And those are things that we both love to eat, but I cannot have a bag of chips in the house or I will eat them and I will eat the whole thing. I can't have a box of cookies in the house or I will eat them and I will eat the whole thing. I just don't have portion control when it comes to some things, and I know that. So instead of buying them just to keep in our house, we don't buy them. But then when we have company, when we have parties and all of our friends come over, then we'll get them, because then you're able to have a few chips with your guacamole and be fine. And then guess what? The rest of the chips are gone. And if they're not gone, send them home with your friends as a party gift, right? One of our friends had a birthday and I made one of my mom's famous chocolate sheet cakes. And it has been one of my favorite things growing up. But let me tell you, it was my first time making it, and I can tell you right now, that thing is not healthy, okay? It is for pure pleasure. And we ate it, and we had half a cake left over. And there was no way Jeff and I were going to keep half of a cake at our house. And so after everyone had a piece, we sent everyone home with like 2 or 3 pieces of the cake, and everyone loved it, and there was no more cake left for Jeff and I. Actually, I think we saved 2 pieces for ourselves, and then that was it. And that way you're able to enjoy the special foods that you love without having them at your house for you just to eat all the time. Another thing that we do is, instead of having chips with our guacamole when it's just us two, we'll have baby carrots. They go surprisingly well because we love guacamole so much. And so just by replacing the chips, you make it so much healthier. And then when you have friends come over, buy the chips and have a few. It's no big deal. Another thing that works out really well is at Whole Foods, especially, they might have it other places, is they sell single serving desserts. So they have a cookie bar where you can buy 1 or 2 cookies, and then you can keep them at your house and decide what night you're going to have a dessert. And then it makes it to where you're not overindulging yourself all the time, because that's one of the keys, is if you have it at your house, you're probably gonna munch on it if you're anything like me. So establish what foods you cannot have just sitting at the house, and become a social eater with those, and eat it with your friends and enjoy the company and not let it completely run your life. So those are my 4 tips for keeping off those extra pounds, but those are by no means the only ways to do it. So comment below and let me know what your favorite tips are for staying slim. And make sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this every Wednesday to help you live your best life. I'll see you next time.